Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan at The Chart Guys. Before we get to the charts, we have 3 proprietary indicators that we've been working on over the past couple of years at The Chart Guys and made a video today describing what each indicator does. I'll link that in the comments of this video. Also over the weekend, put out a day in the life video about my routine as a full-time trader. Check them out. So we are still grinding up for the bulls and bears. You can feel them are frustrated at this point. If I were bearish, I would be frustrated. We have healthy rotation going on. A week ago, the question was, does Team Bull join the Bears or does Team Bear join the Bulls? And I was referring to the big split ever since the financial situation where we had energy, financial sector, IWM, biotech sector all on weak side, and tech, semiconductors, crypto, metals all on the strong side. And we have the weaker names joining the Bulls. There's still some proving that needs to be done, but this is very healthy rotation because the NASDAQ today was down over 1% at one point, and the S&P 500 kept grinding higher because energy is up big on oil news over the weekend of production cuts. The healthcare sector has finally turned around its momentum. So the S&P 500 is just grinding up now with 4 days in a row of notable strength. We are approaching a resistance zone, 413.47 to 416.72. We've topped out there about 5 to 7 times back in February. And we are a bit extended heading into that resistance zone. But I'm just keeping the hourly uptrend as my guide. And again, I know that we're going to be expecting daily consolidation any day now, but I'm not fighting the bulls on a daily basis looking for it. I'm just waiting for bears to prove something to me to show me that I should shift my perspective and have more bear exposure in my IRA, be hedging more aggressively, and be trading bearish more aggressively. There's definitely bear trades out there, but there's also a bunch of bull trades these days now. So SPY hourly EMA 12 held on Thursday. It held today twice, and we closed up near the high. NASDAQ was a bit weaker. It started its consolidation a bit more significantly, but in the end, it's just a daily inside bar on QQQ, and we'll have to see if it breaks bear. Tons of space for the daily high or low. And if it breaks bull, then we'll get back to the highest levels we've seen in 7 months. Semiconductors, daily consolidation underway. Anything above 246 is a high or low. I'm definitely making note that we broke resistance straight into daily consolidation, and NVDA didn't. It's still strong, closing up at the high, highest close in a bunch of months. But semiconductors are showing us a little bit of relative weakness compared to the NASDAQ. So I will be scouting semiconductors bearish if the NASDAQ shows us that daily consolidation is taking place, which at this point would need that daily inside bar to break bearish tomorrow. Tesla was a lead bear today. So I shorted Tesla on the morning live stream, and really it was all just correlation. So we had the bearish reaction pre-market with a lower open. Well, the reaction was over the weekend to the delivery numbers. And so we were opening lower, and I said, all right, well, I'm looking for an hourly high or low compared to the low of yesterday, but I'll be scouting an hourly low or high from there. That's how I headed into the morning. And then I watched the morning trading going on, and right about here is when I got interested shorting Tesla. I was choosing between NIO and Tesla because those two EV names were showing us clear relative weakness. How do I recognize relative weakness? Look at this time, 940 to 948. What's going on? Unable to break resistance. We just keep topping out at the same level. What was QQQ doing at 940 to 948? I'll tell you. It was doing this, 940 to 948. New high of the day, lots of strength in that little 4-minute period. But I saw Tesla was not participating at all, so I shorted it. I just needed a level to play off of, so I shorted it, and I stuck my stop over that high, 287. I exited half after the bear break, and then just let the rest ride out all day, and exited at the end of the day. I was using the 15-minute downtrend as my guide, and we never broke those 15-minute lower highs. So Tesla has a weekly tightening range as we look towards earnings in a couple of weeks. And it's just a question now, are we shaping up a weekly lower high? The Tesla bears are positioned well if the NASDAQ sees daily consolidation, but that's a big if. So we're looking down at the next key support level, 185.93. And we now have space on Tesla for a daily lower high next bounce, anything under 207.79. So the clear bears today were crypto stocks and EV names. Everything else held on fairly well, comparatively. NIO was also a lead bear. I was aggressively shorting NIO on Friday, and I ended up with green, just uneventful green, because we didn't get much follow through. Today was the day I was looking for. Inside bar bear break. And a lot of follow through on that. There was a 15-minute lower high short. 2-minute RSI was approaching 70. 15-minute EMA 12 resistance was coming into play. So again, though, if you're looking bearish in this market, focus on the weak names. KRE, the regional banks, they're still weak. We'll look at that in just a moment. But after the bears control all morning on a name like NIO, where you dump 9%, 8%, look for the lower high, because you know that's the most likely scenario. Rather than trying to find NVDA's top in a daily, weekly, hourly uptrend, go with the name that has proven to you it's raising its hand. I'm a weak name. Come get me. Look at those names to be looking short, not the strong names that have no indication of any weakness. Financial sector still grinding up each day. The key for me from here, the next big check mark that bulls need to see is IWM and XLF confirming daily uptrends once we consolidate from here. XLF just hit the highest price that we've seen in the last 3 weeks. And now 32.68 is resistance. Can we confirm the daily uptrend once we top out? And when do we top out? Because we obviously are not topping out just yet. KRE, the regional banks, are still very clearly weaker than XLF. Daily lower high every single bounce attempt at this point. Daily EMA 12 resistance. If SPY sets up for daily consolidation, KRE bears are positioned well to head back down and test the lows at 41.28. So a very clear bear sector, as our other bear sectors have gotten their bounces underway. XLV was one of them. XLV confirmed a daily uptrend. Man, that's not really convincing. Now it's getting convincing. There's the follow through. There's the bull cross of the daily EMAs for the first time in over a month. Weekly bounce, very notable follow through. We've got a lot of space now for a weekly higher low next consolidation. Monthly higher low is set. I'm viewing this as a low, double top, higher low, and watching to see if we tighten up on the monthly time frame through the summer. But with that, the J&J swing trade from last week is going well. I'm looking to exit partial profit at weekly EMA 12 resistance or just under it. And so I'll probably take some profit tomorrow. And then that will lower my break even down right near the low. Depends on how much profit I take. But need low 157s to be risk-free. Either way, it doesn't matter if I'm risk-free or tiny risk. I'm going to be looking to take some profit. But nice to see that shift underway. Weekly stair step, breaking bull. Let's see how long the healthcare sector bulls can keep up the relative strength from the last 2 days. It's been a long time. Look at XLV divided by SPY. We've been doing the same thing or had relative weakness for months. So let's see if any longer term shift takes place. Today was just 1 day. Biotech sector. So if we're going to see rotation continue and confidence continue in markets, growth names still are not participating the way that bulls would hope. And they've been in a bear market for almost 2 years. You look at a name like the biotech sector, and we topped out back in February of 2021. So we're already past February 2023. But you look at a name like ARKK, it's trying to bottom. The weekly time frame is trying to trade sideways, tighten this range up, and obviously trying to break bull. I'm just keeping an eye out for it. Look at the 4-month time frame on some of these names, like NIO. NIO, massive rally, massive pullback is the 4-month time frame, stair step drop. They will bottom and reverse eventually, but no sign of it just yet. So keeping an eye on growth, clearly still lead bears, but watching to see, PLTR is another one. Can we level out and shift the momentum bullish? And Bitcoin already did this weeks ago and looked very similar. So we'll see. Growth is not participating at this point. We know that much. Gold, nice dip buying, holding daily EMA 12, still within a tightening range. We had support of 1944. We held it by $5. Silver's still hanging on, up near the high. Miners saw continuation today. I was watching for miners to potentially be a bear trade, looking for a lower high compared to the high of Friday. But bulls showed up with the volume on the morning. Hourly uptrend is our guide on the miners, and they are testing weekly resistance of 33.34. We rejected today by 5 pennies, but we are right there testing that level. Oil. So the news for oil over the weekend, I think 6 or 8 different countries all cutting production in unison. And as we know, just classic supply and demand. If you decrease supply, price goes up. And so we're now back at a resistance zone. Look at all this action between 81.47 and 83.04. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tops pretty much. And now here's another one. But the 4-hour uptrend is our guide, 97. Make that 79 key support level. If we lose that, we zoom out for daily consolidation. But oil is trying to put in a 4-month higher low. Huge rally, big pullback. 4-month higher low is the most likely scenario. And we will need a weekly uptrend to confirm, but we got a bunch of space for a weekly higher low to be the result of next consolidation. Natural gas staying weak. Had a bear reaction to the oil news over the weekend. Fresh low with no follow through. Let's see if bears are showing us some exhaustion now. Tightening hourly range. Bear break with no follow through has me interested in paying attention. Again, I'm not going to try and nail the bottom in natural gas, but keeping an eye out to see if bulls are able to confirm the first 4-hour uptrend that we've seen in a few weeks. So winning trade today on Tesla short. I had a couple stop outs, break even stop outs. One of them was AI, where I was looking short here for a 15-minute lower high and equilibrium. And I exited partial and stopped out break even when the bull saw continuation. But I got this short. Again, it was just the amount of trades that I take based on relative strength and relative weakness. Look at the end of the day on AI. Forget where I shorted here. 34.04. So shorted this little pop. Why was I shorting there? Because at this point in time, this is what we're doing over 2 hours of trading. What's QQQ doing? Going straight up. So I recognize relative weakness. And I say, all right, well, I'm scouting a 5-minute lower high to be the result of this bounce. We broke 34.05 resistance with 0 follow through. And that was just a quick little end of the day trade. Scaled out into that. Got stopped out the final third on the bounce. But just a day that went well, where there were a couple solid trades and then a few break-even trades where I was wrong. And that's the name of the game. So again, we will see what tomorrow brings, but as long as this rotation is going on and some sectors are showing strength and seeing higher highs while others consolidate, it's healthy for the market. At this point, to break this confidence that is becoming contagious the last couple of weeks, we have to see all major sectors dropping together, high bear volume, and a solid fear day where the market drops, 1.5% to 2% plus. In the absence of that, and again, it's even, I'm scouting daily higher lows on SPY and QQQ. Give me a 2% drop over the next 2-3 days. Keeping in mind, we don't have trading on Friday. It's a holiday. But, we could pull back 3% on SPY and QQQ and look for a daily higher low. We got back burner trades to be watching. AI was a back burner this morning. 5-minute oversold conditions led to a 5% plus bounce. BABA hourly oversold conditions at the end of the day, leading to the start of a bounce attempt. Nothing impressive at this point. But point is, there's confidence out there that is leading to bulls buying dips. And something's got to shift. Something's got to shift for the bears to gain some confidence again. It can come out of nowhere, but make the bears prove it. Focus on the weaker names if you want to be looking bearish. If you want to be looking at the stronger names bearish, the market as a whole needs to prove to you that that's the direction that you should be looking. I hope you had a great weekend. Check out our indicators. Check out the day in a life routine. Check out the routine webinar that I did. And we'll see you tomorrow. Do good things. This guy lives in this wooden turkey. He's gonna have to get used to sharing some space. This turkey. Past 2 years I've had bees build a hive in there. I say let them use it, and I'm not using the inside of that turkey. They do get territorial, but I've never been bitten by any of these guys. Now I'm going to go around and give all of the perennials that give me edibles and the flowers that I like, hook them up with some spring nutrients so they can hit the ground running. This is the first time I've ever eaten my own asparagus. I let some of it get a little too big. It grows a lot faster than I thought. These are trillium that like the shade. They hide underneath these Japanese maples. I think they're endangered. Certainly very common in the area, but I think they're limited to this area. These are the potatoes from last year. I kept in the barn over winter, and they are ready to go. I've got way more than I need, so I'm going to start putting these in the compost piles around the yard to just have wild potatoes growing everywhere.